We stand for integrity, honesty, self-reliance, self-defense, and most importantly, no compromise on our foundational principles. This is America's Voice Now.
Find America's Voice Now on Facebook and at americasvoicenow.org. Here's Michael Evans.
Good morning, America. My name is Michael Evans, and you're listening to America's Voice Now. My bullet points this morning, I want to address a problem which I find inexcusable. The Tea Party Express, based out of California, Kommifornia in my parlance, has come out in a public statement supporting Jason Smith for Congress. They claim to be the Tea Party Express, the nation's largest Tea Party political action committee, and they say they have proudly announced their support for Speaker Pro Tem Jason Smith in Missouri's 8th Congressional District special election. Chairman Amy Kramer says, quote, Jason is a promising young conservative who will bring fiscal responsibility to Washington, D.C. Tea Partiers across the country applaud his commitment to repealing Obamacare and reining in the federal government's out-of-control spending. Barack Obama said his priority for the next election is win back the House, blah, 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 install Nancy Pelosi, blah, 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 blah. The Tea Party Express is proud to endorse Representative Jason Smith, and we encourage residents in the 8th District to vote for Jason on June 4th, Kremer concluded. Well, that leads to a few questions, not the least of which is, who is the Tea Party Express, and why do they feel that it's their place to interfere in an election in Missouri? Well, they call themselves a National Tea Party Political Action Committee, the nation's largest. So, we spoke to the Tea Party Express and their political director, a gentleman by the name of Andy Surabian. And we asked, how could you support Jason Smith in good conscience when he has sponsored a constitutional amendment in the state of Missouri that is a duplicate or a replication of the Monsanto Protection Act that Roy Blunt, his sponsor, his mentor, promoted and gotten passed on the federal side. Here's what they said. They use the Buckley rule. This is their excuse. They use the Buckley rule, which is basically summarized, it's to try to elect the most conservative person running who has a chance of winning, regardless of party affiliation, Republican or Democrat. That is their first mistake. First of all, the Tea Party is a group or an organization of individuals, not a political party. This is the same kind of mentality that has given us or given rise to the existing problems that formulated was the inception point and the conception point of the Tea Party in the first place. This is the kind of political thinking that gave us Obama, Mitt Romney, a House and Senate full of traitors. And this organization has the unmitigated gall to come out here and represent a candidate who admittedly they did no homework and checking on. They admit that they never spoke to a single person in the 8th District. Is that proper due diligence, Tea Party Express? You just took, what, the word of the guy who says, well, of course I'm the good guy. I mean, if that's the case, why do we have jails? Because everybody in jail is innocent. At least they all say they are. The truth of the matter is, there are two candidates who are running in this election for June 4th that are far more conservative than Jason Smith. One is Bill Slants, the Libertarian candidate. The other is Doug Enyart, the Constitution Party candidate. Now, you tell me, and I don't care whether you've heard any one of them speak or not. I don't care if you've heard any of them speak. Just by the party affiliation, you tell me who's the most conservative candidate. A Republican who's currently in office as a Republican. A Democrat who's currently in office as a Democrat. A Libertarian who's never held office before but abides by libertarian principles. Or a Constitution Party candidate who has never run for office before, but has met the criteria to be a Constitution Party candidate and adheres to their principles. You tell me, Tea Party Express, Mr. Sarubian, who is the most conservative candidate? And if you insert the sentence after that, who has a chance of winning, I'd like to be the first one to slap you across the face. Because that is exactly why the United States of America is descending into tyranny at a free fall rate. Not because Congress is betraying us left and right. Not because the President of the United States is a tyrant and a traitor. Not because the Vice President is a buffoon. But because Americans routinely say, I've got to choose the lesser of two evils. That's why the United States is coming apart at the seams like a cheap Chinese suit in the rain. But get this. The Tea Party Express has already sent out 10,000 emails endorsing Jason Smith. And now they don't want to admit that they've made a mistake. Sarubian admitted he made a mistake over the phone. Well, we didn't really check on him. We didn't call anyone in the 8th District to find out what the citizenry, what the electorate thought. We just accepted that he's part of the electorate machine. This group is in California. And that ought to tell you a lot. First of all, who the hell are they to inject themselves into a Missouri race without checking with Missouri? The second thing that they ought to do is immediately acknowledge their mistake, admit their foibles, and publish a retraction. But nay, it's right on their front page of their website. In fact, it's the lead story. Tea Party Express endorses Jason Smith for Missouri, 8th District. Jason Smith for Congress on a red, white, and blue background with the state seal right next to him. Really? We're going to call these people today. Today is Wake Up Wednesday. It's time for the Tea Party in California to be wakened.
If you're looking for great deals on iPads or Kindles, look no further than your neighborhood Radio Shack authorized sales center. They've got great deals on the latest iPads and Kindles. Maybe you need a new GPS or an MP3 player to get your music library ready for those barbecues. Whatever your electronic needs, stop by your local neighborhood Radio Shack authorized dealer in West Plains at 1408 Southern Hills Shopping Center or call 417-256-1819.
Out of 365 days a year, we celebrate holidays, anniversaries, and other important days. But there is one day you look forward to, your birthday. I wanna wish you a happy birthday. Ryan's Steakhouse of West Plains is proud to bring you the Birthday Club weekday mornings with Cooper & Company. Our daily winner receives one buffet and a drink to Ryan's. Just call your birthdays in weekday mornings with Cooper & Company at 255-0427. Brought to you by Ryan's and the Ozarks Best News Talk.
And happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha.
So let's get specific. What's the purpose of Wake Up Wednesday? Well, the purpose is to make sure that we take action. Congress or our state assembly is out of session. So today, we're going to turn our collective action on the Tea Party Express. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to email, we're going to tweet, and we're going to phone call these idiots in California. And we're going to tell them to keep their commie mitts off of Missouri because they didn't get the facts. And since they didn't get the facts, they ought to stay the hell out of our race. You see, this is exactly what I talk about when you hear me say to you, do your due diligence on a candidate. And here is a Tea Party organization, the largest in the country, who has defaulted on the single number one premise of all electorate or all electorate election principles. Do your homework. Here's the problem. The Tea Party is not made up of a political party. And if all they are is Republican rubber stamp, then they're not the Tea Party. The Tea Party isn't made up of politicians. It's made up of people. They should admit their mistake, retract the statement on their website, put a clarification up there that we did not do our due diligence, that the citizens of Missouri are pissed off at us for having stepped into their race without doing our homework, and we hereby retract our endorsement for Jason Smith and claim either no endorsement for any candidate or strongly recommend that all citizens within the 8th District in Missouri do their due diligence and put links up to all 4 candidates, since they refused to do their part. But they won't admit their mistake, and they won't issue a retraction. Do you know why? I'll bet you they won't. Now, our goal today is to change that mantra and change that mentality. And here's why. The Tea Party Express should admit that it made a mistake and issue a retraction. That's something that politicians never do. Ever. But the Tea Party is not made up of politicians. The Tea Party is made up of people. And that is the one thing that the overall electorate, irrespective of ideology or party affiliation, is fed up with from Washington. The fact that no one will ever admit that they were wrong. Everyone is so convinced and so convicted of their own brilliance that no one will ever say, you know what, that was a mistake. And you want to know what the one thing is that America really wants out of our politicians? Honesty. Honesty. Straightforward, straight shooting talk. No mealy-mouthed, double-speaking crap. We want just somebody to come right out and say, you know what? I made a mistake. I voted the wrong way, or that's the wrong policy, or we shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have done that. Take responsibility for your actions. That's the premise, the foundational principle of America. Self-responsibility, self-reliance. Take responsibility for your actions. Be responsible for that which you have done, and move on. Admit your mistakes when you've made one. Correct the action. Make amends. And do the right thing next time. That's all America wants. That's all the people want. That's all the voters want. But this group has now become, for all intents and purposes, that which we all hate. The same lying, double-speaking, no homework, no due diligence, nonsensical crap that we hear from everybody else, politicians included. Well, if the Tea Party Express is a political organization and it's made up of politicians, then it no longer qualifies as the Tea Party, does it? If they've become so self-impressed and have corrupted themselves and sold themselves down the river for this, then they no longer can represent the people. You want proof of the old adage that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely? Well, there you go. That's the simple truth of it. Here these people are, and I guarantee you, because as large as this organization is, these people who run this thing are paid, and they're not, I'm almost willing to bet you money that they are not volunteers. Amy Kremer, born and raised in Atlanta, politically active early in 2009 through social media. Really? So she's a neophyte. Since becoming involved with the grassroots movement, spoken at many Tea Party rallies across the country, Appeared on Fox News Channel, Faux News Channel, numerous times. I'm sick to death of it. On the Sean Hannity Show, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, NBC, MSLSD, whatever, you get the idea. The View. Howard Kaloogian, proud conservative, assistant Republican leader in the California State Assembly during his 6 years in office. Are you beginning to smell what I smell? Chairman of the CalPERS Oversight Committee, where he proposed converting public employee pension system to a defined contribution plan, blah, 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 blah. Legislator of the Year in 97. Sal Russo, recognized as one of America's premier political strategists and the leading architect of the Tea Party and Express and its explosive and historic success. Fixture of national and local media as the foremost expert on the Tea Party movement and an analyst regarding state and national politics. Active member of the free speech movement, studying at the University of California, Berkeley in '64. That tells you a lot right there. Volunteered to work on Reagan's '66 gubernatorial campaign. Assisted Jack Kemp in the '88 presidential campaign. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a hold of these folks today. I'm going to give you some numbers. I'm going to give you information on how to reach them. And we are going to get to the bottom of this. And we're going to demand a retraction. We're not asking for one. We're demanding one. You know why? Because the Tea Party doesn't speak from California for Missouri. That's the simple truth. So I want you to get a pen and paper. I want you to pull an envelope out. I don't want you to write this on the back of your hand. I want you to write it in reverse on your forehead. I don't give a damn how you do it. But today is Wake Up Wednesday. And we're going to let the Tea Party Express understand exactly what due diligence means. You know why? Because Jason Smith is not a Tea Party candidate. A Tea Party candidate is a Constitution guy. A Tea Party candidate is a libertarian guy. A Tea Party candidate is a guy who's going to go in and bake the back of same old, same old. Not a part of the cogs of the machine already. Not a guy who accepted money from Roy Blunt. From Monsanto through Roy Blunt, better yet. Not a guy who proposed a constitutional amendment that went through our own assembly like crap through a goose to give us our own state mini Monsanto Act. So here's what you're going to do. Take this phone number down. 916-441-3734. That's 916-441-3734. Their website, teapartyexpress.org. teapartyexpress.org. And here's their Twitter stuff. At Tea Party Express. And when you send a tweet, I want you to send it to the following two. And what you say is, Jason Smith is not a Tea Party candidate. And then you type in the at symbol, Tea Party Express. No spaces. At Tea Party Express. Space, pound, Tea Party. The pound sign, it's, what the heck is it? It's above the 3. Pound Tea Party. So, you're asking for a guy named Andy Serubian, and you want to talk to Amy Kramer, she's the head, and Howard Kalugian, and Sal Russo. I'm going to give you these names again. Amy Kremer, Kremer. Howard Kalugian, Kaloogian. And the last one is Sal Russo, Russo. Our goal is to call them today and question them. Question them deeply. Why did you choose this guy? Did you contact us in Missouri? Why didn't you speak to us? Why didn't you listen to any of our radio talk programs? Why didn't you communicate with anyone in the Tea Party organizations in Missouri? Why didn't you poll the electorate in Missouri? I mean, you're in between elections. You got all this money that's donated to you. Why don't you spend it on something valuable? Go ahead, caller.
Yes, Michael, you just asked the question I had in mind. Do we know if they attempted to vet this with any of the Tea Party people locally? Or
No.
any are?
They said that they didn't. Andy Serubian said that they did not check with anyone in Missouri.
So they just flew off on a wild...
Yeah, I mean, here we are talking about the future of our blinking nation, and this dipstick has the unmitigated nerve to admit, I didn't check with any of you first.
Are we sure they're not some kind of shield for the Democratic Party of California?
Have you ever seen the Tea Party Express website? I mean, they are a huge organization. That's my point. You see, that's my point exactly. They are too big for our good. I am so angry and so incensed and feel so abused by this group who is supposed to represent the people that I could just puke. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
Fox News Radio. I'm Chris Foster. FBI agents shoot and kill a man in Orlando, Florida. They're not saying what happened yet at that apartment complex. A friend there says Ibrahim Torashev knew the older Boston Marathon bombing suspect and had been questioned.
There's no connection. I know that for sure. I know this guy for sure.
He says his friend was afraid and wanted to go back to Chechnya, but canceled his plane ticket. The FBI is planning an update later today. City Councilman Eric Garcetti is elected mayor of Los Angeles. And in Moore, Oklahoma, hit by a tornado Monday. It's the start of a long cleanup process. FEMA Director Craig Fugate says the federal government's there to help.
Ideally, people have insurance because, again, our assistance is very limited. We're not going to make you whole. We're not going to rebuild your home. That's why it's so critical to have insurance.
It's the fourth tornado to hit Moore since 1998. 24 people died in this one. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Get a hold of Brian down at Ozark Mountain Self-Reliance. You can call him at 870-492-4030, or you can find him on the web at ozarkmtnselfreliance.com. Located a half-mile east of Walmart and Route 62 in Mountain Home. My friends over at Chantilly's Artisan Bakery at 255-2253, number 2 Evans Arcade off the square in West Plains. Best damn bakery in 100 miles. You can reach Mary at 255-2253. My friend Bill Stone over at Stone Construction at 293-0116. Whether remodeling or doing new or custom construction or light commercial, Bill's the guy for you. 293-0116. West Plains Pawn and Gun, located on Route 160, just about a mile east of Walmart on the right-hand side. westplainspawn.com. You can also reach them by a telephone at 417-256-3000. Friends over at the battery station at 303 Washington Avenue, right off the square in West Plains. You can find them on the web at batterystation.com, and you can call them at 417-257-7799. Also, don't forget to stop by Pizza Hut for an outstanding lunch special between 11 and 2. Salad and pasta all together. You can also visit them on Tuesday evenings for family night. Kids eat free under 12. And Jason over at Wits End Classic Barbershop, sponsor of our telephone line. Make sure that you see Wits End Classic Barbershop for your next shave and a haircut. Outstanding, fine young man, and a great patriot as well. He's on the square in West Plains.
The Battery Station in West Plains is your headquarters for getting and being prepared. Natural disasters, civil unrest, personal and family protection, long-term sustenance, and most importantly, peace of mind. Berkey bottles and home-sized water purification systems, survival food, MREs, freeze-dried food, survival knives, lanterns, ammunition, military sleep system, and of course, batteries of all shapes and sizes. Take charge of your own survival and security. The Battery Station, 303 Washington in West Plains, 417-257-7799 or batterystation.com.
Whether sponsorships are available for your business or organization, call Josh at 255-2548 for more information, or email info@diamondmediaradio.com.
From the Point Weather Center for this morning, a leftover thunderstorm becoming mostly sunny as we head through the day. The high temperature 76, mainly clear tonight, low 56. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow, high 78, mainly clear tomorrow night, low 52. Friday, sunshine, high 74. I'm meteorologist Jim Minaldi, and for more information, visit my1071thepoint.com.
There's one man on this earth who really, truly gets it.
The nightmare, the monstrosity that is Obamacare is going to be run by the nightmare, the monstrosity that is the Internal Revenue Service. I wonder if they're going to have a determinations unit examining all Obamacare decisions. Excuse me, pathologist? Really? Well, send us some x-rays first. Oh, and, are you a member of the Tea Party?
Weeknights from 5 till 8, Mark Levin on the Ozarks Best News Talk, 107.1.
So the real problem here, and I'm not done giving you guys information yet, because we're going to hammer these people into submission. Okay? I mean, the goal here is Wake Up Wednesday. It's time to kick these people right in the shorts and say, we've had enough. Don't mess around with Missouri until you know what the hell you're talking about. Here's their email. info@teapartyexpress.org. That's info@teapartyexpress.org. And also press, PRESS, @teapartyexpress.org. Now, Mike? I just brought Mike on the line. What's this guy's email? This Surabian.
His direct email is his name, Andy Surabian, ANDYSURABIAN @yahoo.com.
All right. So here's your list of contacts, people. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Well, so tell me what this guy said in reference to this. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to call them. I've given you their phone number. It's 916-441-3734. That's 916-441-3734. And since California is 2 hours behind us, we need to start making these phone calls now. I want their voicemail jammed when they come in today. When they arrive today, I want their voicemail to be so full it can't take any more messages. Got it? Second thing we're going to do is we're going to email them at info@teapartyexpress.org, and you're going to copy press@teapartyexpress.org and Andy Surabian @yahoo.com. I'm going to spell his name for you. It's ANDY. Last name, there's no spaces or anything. It's just Andy Surabian. Last name is spelled SUR like Romeo, A, B like Bravo, I, A like Alpha, N like November. Andy Surabian, SUR, U like uniform. So it's Andy, ANDY, SURABIAN @yahoo.com. Then we're going to tweet. If you have a Twitter account, here's what you're going to do. And if you don't have a Twitter account, go borrow somebody else's. Slam these bums. @Tea Party Express and #Tea Party. Those are the two, and the other two that you're going to use is #TCOT, TCOT. Tango, Charlie, Oscar, Tango. And #TLOT, Tango, Lima, Oscar, Tango. Here's why. Those are the main Tea Party hashtags. And what you're going to send in there is Jason Smith is not a Tea Party candidate. How dare you? Then, @Tea Party Express, #Tea Party, #TCOT, #TLOT, #USA. Let's make sure that the United States of America and the Tea Party overall and all Tea Party organizations who monitor these hashtags get the message. If you're not going to represent us as the people and you're just another Republican or Democrat shill, then get the hell off of our stage, because you're not welcome here. If you're not going to do your due diligence, if you're not going to do what's right, then don't bother calling yourself the representatives of the people. Here's what they say they're proud to stand for. No more bailouts. Reduce the size and intrusiveness of government. Oh, really? So explain to me then why Jason Smith just shoved through a constitutional amendment that gives Monsanto a free pass over the court, over the damned legislature. Tell me. Stop raising our taxes. Repeal Obamacare. Cease out-of-control spending. Let me tell you something about this repeal Obamacare. The House has voted to repeal Obamacare over and over and over and over and over again. It doesn't go anywhere because Harry the traitor Reid runs the Senate, and it never even sees the light of day. So don't tell me, well, Jason is going to repeal Obamacare. That's why we wanted to support him. Because the House already has enough people to repeal Obamacare. The problem is the Senate, damn it! cease out of control spending and bring back American prosperity. Let me tell you something. The Missouri Monsanto Protection Act is not going to do anything to support and bring back American prosperity. It's going to ensure that Monsanto and the like can live on forever on the backs of small farmers and suck our nation dry, destroy our food supply, and bankrupt the breadbasket of the country. If you call that a Tea Party candidate, I got nothing for you. You and I got nothing further to discuss, Mr. and Mrs. Tea Party Express. You see, here's the problem, America. Our so-called patriotic people who allegedly represent the unrepresented electorate have corrupted themselves too, just like the scum over there in D.C. And I'm sick of it. Get a little bit of money behind you, get a little bit of fame and fortune, get your name on the side of a bus or up on a billboard, and all of a sudden you think you're God. The hell's the matter with humanity? And what the hell's the matter with the United States of America? Our country's going down the tubes to the dogs, and everybody's standing around saying, I think we ought to demand a bipartisan investigative hearing on the IRS scandal. No, I don't. I think we ought to march 25 million strong to Washington, D.C. and tell them we don't leave till you do. We ain't splitting until you do. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. All of you. Everybody in Congress, you're out. Everyone who works for you, you're out. Everyone who works in a federal agency, you're out. You're all barred from running ever again. The only people that can ever run again in this new emergency election are those who have never held office before. They're not going to understand the protocols and procedures. That's exactly right. Maybe they'll start living by the damn Constitution. Make me sick, the whole lot of you. The whole point is the country is coming apart. The goal here is so that America can restore the Constitution, get all of the bias, the special interests, the bribery, the scandal, the dirt, and the corruption out. You don't do that by leaving half the turds in the toilet. You flush the whole thing. And if you're not willing to do that, America, then we're done. I don't know what more you want. We're finished if you're not willing to go to the extent where we say everybody in is out. Then you have wasted our time, our money, our effort, our energy, and you have misled us. That should be the message of every radio talk show host out there. That should be the message of every Tea Party. That should be the message of every candidate running. That should be the message of every American citizen. We are not for sale. There is no alternative, people. What more don't you get? This is finished. It's over. The Constitution is dead. The principles of the Constitution are dead. The principles of liberty and freedom are dead. And they're dead because of idiots like this. They claim to represent the electorate, the unspoken of masses. Let me tell you something. This is not the proper solution for you. You have no business injecting yourself into a race in the state of Missouri. In fact, quite honestly, you have no business interjecting yourself anywhere. You shouldn't be endorsing candidates because then you are a political organization. And you definitely don't endorse a candidate you haven't done your due diligence on and ask the people who he already represents, what do they think? I mean, this is stupid. And you know what? I personally am just sick to death of the whole mess. I'm tired of the betrayal. I'm tired of the corruption. Let me tell you something. These people who are running this organization have obviously sold out to their own little game. They've drunk their own Kool-Aid. We're so great, we can make statements and people will follow us. Hey, Amy. Hey, Howard. Hey, Sal Russo. Let me tell you something. If you have gotten to the point where you have drunk your own Kool-Aid to the level that you are willing to sacrifice our nation, you don't represent a damn thing. Go back to being a shoemaker or a candlestick maker or a store clerk or whatever the heck you were before. But get the hell out of Missouri.
I once lassoed a shooting star that dragged me into a U.S. cellular store where I saved $100 on a 4G LTE Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1. Yeah, right. $100 savings on the newest Galaxy Note tablet? Crazy talk.
Get great deals on all our Galaxy devices like $100 off the 4G LTE Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 tablet. U.S. Cellular. Hello better. Certain restrictions apply. Applicable data plan required. New 2-year agreement and $35 device activation fee may apply. See store for details.
All right, you've heard the news. There's never been a better time to buy a home, refinance, or maybe if you're over 62 or if you have a parent over 62, it's a great time to look at a reverse mortgage. We've all heard the ads. What you don't know is that there are amazing government programs to help you get it done. But where do you start and who do you call? Easy. Call the Center for Sound Consumer Advice first. Still the one and only consumer advocacy referral service in America. Since 2004, there's never been a fee, charge, or obligation of any kind for their Today in America series of free consumer protection guides. Your first step is to call 1-800-868-9960. That's 1-800-868-9960 and get these free guides while they last. You need to buy a home. You've got to refinance, right? Well, now that I've gotten your attention, there's no reason to put this call off. Get your hands on the brand new 2013 Today in America series consumer protection guides right now by calling 1-800-868-9960. Again, it's 1-800-868-9960.
The Battery Station in West Plains is your headquarters for getting and being prepared. Natural disasters, civil unrest, personal and family protection, long-term sustenance, and most importantly, peace of mind. Berkey bottles and home-sized water purification systems, survival food, MREs, freeze-dried food, survival knives, lanterns, ammunition, military sleep system, and of course, batteries of all shapes and sizes. Take charge of your own survival and security. The Battery Station, 303 Washington and West Plains, 417-257-7799 or batterystation.com.
You see, people, this isn't really about Jason Smith. What this really is about is the fact that these people have become exactly that which they profess to hate. Unaccountable, unintelligent, inept, inconsistent, and unable to adhere to even their own principle, spoken principle. You know why I know that? I guarantee you they didn't do any due diligence, and I'll tell you why. For the record, for those of you who don't know, and this I want you to tell Serubian and Kramer and Kalugian and Russo, when you call and contact these people today, I want you to tell them, you know, you don't know, but Jason Smith voted in the House today, or in the House in Missouri, to set up the Obamacare exchanges. He voted for that. And you think he's going to repeal Obamacare? He also set up and voted to fund the China hub that was going to strip literally thousands of jobs out of Missouri, the China hub in St. Louis, that was going to strip thousands of jobs and destroy our economy. If you call that a small government conservative, then you really don't represent anything. You are just another Republican shill. I'm so tired of the betrayal and the two-faced double talk and the excuses and the mealy-mouthed nonsense. Let me tell you something. Here's the real problem here. These people didn't do their homework. And they have a lot of gall and a lot of nerve turning around and dumping 10,000 emails out to representatives across the United States, and I don't even know how many of them here in Missouri. I'm willing to bet the vast majority of those 10,000 emails were sent right here because it costs money to send email. And they didn't send them out to people in California because they're not voting for Jason Smith. So that 10,000 emails went to Missouri. And they puked all over Missouri with a lie and a misrepresentation, calling Jason Smith a Tea Party candidate when he is anything but. And it's not Jason Smith. If it was Roy Blunt, I'd be saying the same damn thing. The simple truth of this is that America has lost its focus, has lost its heart, its soul, its brass, its cojones. And these people are leading the charge. They're soft and fat and dumb and happy. They're paid. This is their full-time job now. You know, like the anti-cancer people, there's just too much money in it to actually provide the cure. This is the problem, people. America has no integrity and honor. So these people will continue to push that which they've never even investigated. I mean, how unconscionable, how stupid, how inept, how incompetent can you be? How dare you make a candidacy endorsement when you haven't even asked the people in the community what they think of him, and you haven't done your homework to look at his record? Did they look at the Constitution candidate? Did they look at the Libertarian candidate? Oh, they don't have a chance to win. They're in a no-name party. Well, then you are just the same thing that you're claiming to fight against, aren't you? Because until America gets the idea that the Republicans and the Democrats are cut from the same piece of cloth, we're finished. It's inconceivable to me that anybody doesn't see it. You know, you unroll a bolt of cloth. It's blue on one side, red on the other, because that's the way they dyed it. But guess what? It's all the same piece of fabric. Look at a puppet master. He can dangle two puppets at the same time. One's called the Republican Party, the other's called the Democratic Party. Both parties have sold us into slavery decades ago, and these guys are just finishing the job. The problem is, America, is that we need to stand up on our own two hind legs and say, guess what? Whatever you guys do, we're not buying it. We're not taking it. We're not accepting it. We want you all out. And going forward, you cannot run again in this emergency election after July 4th, when we storm and put the capitals of states and federal government under siege. You cannot run in this emergency election if you have ever held government office before. Let a housewife run. Let a guy who works in a ditch run. I don't care. First of all, this whole concept about paying these people these glamorous $180, $190, $210,000 to run for an office that they sit in there and marginalize us to death is absurd and stupid. Our founding fathers and our framers said that these people should be working as a love and a duty, not a career. And it's the career part of this that is eating out the substance of America, including the people who run and make a career out of the Tea Party Express. Damn it all to hell. What are you people thinking? Restore liberty and honor the Constitution? How are you going to do that when you have corrupted yourself over money and influence and power? When what you're really interested in is, how do I keep my job? It's unconscionable. And it's the antithesis of everything that the United States of America was founded upon. Where is integrity and honor and self-sacrifice? Self-sacrifice means I'm going to do this job And I'm going to get enough out of it that I can just basically feed my family. But it's not enough for me to want to make me stay here, because I can make more in the private sector. And it doesn't come with the trappings of power that make up for the lack of money. It doesn't come with a shawl with white fur on it. It doesn't come with the front seat and a free wine and the best seat in the house at a restaurant. It doesn't come with some cute little chippy with a tight rear end who takes care of you while your wife is back in Iowa. I mean, that's what the problem is, people. We have completely abdicated any concept of what the real role of government is. The real role of government is simply to sit here and say that Americans have these basic foundational rights and we're here to protect them. And free housing and free health care and free phones are not a right. Irrespective of what Sebelius and Obama and Schumer and all these other idiots tell you. If you don't believe me, go read the Constitution. If they thought it was a foundational right, they would have put it in there. We're all equal under the law, but we are not all equal in terms of our capabilities, our skills, our income, our ability to function within the world. On that note, you're all on your own. And guess what? Competition builds character. When you have to compete for a job and it's not given to you because of the color of your skin or the sex between your legs, then you have competition. But we don't believe in that anymore. We're going to shuffle the deck and we're going to make sure everybody's equal. That's not what the Constitution was about. If our founders ever heard us thinking that way, they'd slap us silly. They would. The whole premise, folks, is that you came in here alone, you're going out alone. And while you're here, you're alone. Be self-reliant. Be responsible for yourself. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your successes. Take responsibility for your failures. Learn from them and grow forward to successes, having learned from your mistakes and your failure. That's the problem. Nobody wants to accept that they can fail. And I'm going to tell you something. The Tea Party Express has failed. Failed. They failed you. They failed me. They failed every person who's a member of that organization and every person who has ever donated one copper penny. They failed us. So you're going to contact them today at 916-441-3734. You're going to contact them at Andy Surabian at yahoo.com. Surabian at yahoo.com. You're going to contact them at info@teapartyexpress.com. You're going to contact them at press.teapartyexpress.org. It's teapartyexpress.org. So info@teapartyexpress.org and press@teapartyexpress.org. And you're going to tweet them at Tea Party Express and pound Tea Party and pound Tea Cot and pound Tea Lot. TCOTTLOT. Why? Because this is how we take America back, one damn step at a time. And then I want you to all send them a link to this video and let Kramer and Surabian and Kalugian and Russo watch this video. They'll say, that guy's half-cocked. No, that guy's the patriot you wish you were. You're listening to America's Voice now. My name is Michael Evans, and yeah, I'm mad as hell, and I ain't taking it anymore. I suggest you do the same. Find this video today at youtube.com/America's Voice Now. Send a copy to these lames and let them know. It's not about Jason Smith. It's about the fact that they've betrayed the trust we've given them. Just like Washington, just like Jefferson City. All of them. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
We are the Ozarks' best news talk, KBMV Birch Tree.